What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Torrence, and in today's video I am playing with cool tones. As you can see, the color here is real, the glow is real, and I decided to do this look because I wasn't having a very good day yesterday. Some things were supposed to come in the mail that never showed up, and so I just decided, you know what, Torrence, you always have a good time when you stay in and play with makeup, so that's what I decided to do. I'm waiting on the Dose of Colors, I believe it's the Cutting Edge and Smoky Soiree palettes to come through. But until they get here, I'm going to play with the Dose of Color items that I have. The Pretty Cool palette, as well as a Block Party Shadow Single. I absolutely love the Dose of Color formula. They're matte and shimmers. So this is my way of keeping my spirits up until my packages get here. And I can show you what this looks like here. This is the matte palette. See here, this is truly a cool tone palette. Left to right, we have the shades Topeless, Let's Chill, Sign Off, Fine Print, and Smoke Show. The shimmer I'm going to be using today is going to be the Block Party Shingle in the shade Tell Me More. I don't know if you can see that there. So if you want to know how I achieved this look that I'm wearing now, just continue to watch. Make sure before we get started, you hit that subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up. And if there's nothing else, let's go ahead and get started. It is raining outside and I have to run errands. Eyes are already prepped. As you all can see, I have switched my eye primers. Gonna make sure I leave everything down in the description bar below. I want to hurry up and get started because the rain has seemed to calm down and I don't barely hear anything outside. So if you do hear any knocking or anything, it's just rain here in Michigan. We have to get through it. And the first shade I want to go in is with this one here, the middle shade Sign Off. And I'm going to build that all the way throughout my entire crease. And I am too excited today because although my Dose of Color palettes have not come, my Wayne Goss palette is supposed to be delivered today. So I am racing out the house to go pick that bad baby up. Okay. And of course with Dose of Color, I've never doubted the pigmentation. I've loved every palette I've gotten from them. It's just I don't show this palette enough love. And the reason why I initially chose this palette, at first, I wanted to do the baked browns just because I believe that would be more universally flattering. But recently, I've just been getting more and more into cool tone looks. Okay, I want to build this up a little further. Trying to go in slowly because we know cool tones can easily take you from looking smoky to ashy. And I just want this to be a flawless, beautiful, seamless blend. And there we have it, honey. Look at that. Just enough to give us some color. I always have a hard time buffing out this spot right here just because my brow bone tends to stick down right there. And so I always have to pay just a little more attention to that spot. Gonna jump over to the other side. Satisfied with the blend we have there. Now I'm trying to debate, do I want to go in lighter or darker? Next, I'm going to go in with the second shade, Let's Chill, as a transition shade. First, we're going to just press it on against the edges of our crease shade and then buff it up. And looking at this now, I think this shade may be a tiny bit darker than what I wanted it to be. So I'm going to really have to take time and buff this out. Back to what I was saying, because I know I get to rambling sometimes. One of the main reasons why I chose this quad is because my Cutting Edge and Smoky Soiree palettes still haven't been delivered. And I've just been really enjoying playing with cool tones more often now. I know during the summer many people like warm tones, but to me that's something that's popular all year round. And so I just wanted to switch it up. And plus, that one phrase has just been really going through my head a whole lot lately. It's this one quote that Kylie Jenner for some reason keeps saying, or not keeps saying, she said it once, and it was that I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. And I don't know why, but the word cool mom just kept popping in my head for some reason. And when I saw this cool eyeshadow palette that I'm using, it instantly brought me back to a childhood memory where my mother had this deep dark leather couch. It was a teal leather couch, and although we were allowed to sit on the couch, I mean, it was the family couch, we usually did not hang out in the living room area. I think many people grew up with those type of rules sometimes. Unless it was like a family gathering or a company or something coming over, there was just no need to sit on the couch. Knowing one, we were messy, and two, leather couches aren't cheap. But she had a deep teal green leather couch, and it also had these black feathers on the side of it that were in these teal vases. And I just think that was probably one of the most beautiful living room settings that we had as a child. And many people may not care or think of things like that, but it's just those little things that pop in my head that bring inspiration for me. And that cool mom, I don't know how that just brought up a cool teal green look, but just thinking of my mother's furniture inspired today's look, so we're running with it. And when she watches this video, I'm gonna ask her, does she even remember? I'm quite sure she remembers that couch because that was like on Andover. We used to live on Detroit East Side growing up, and moved to West when I was in the 4th grade. So next I want to go ahead and cut my crease. And the funny part about that green couch is, although I think it was probably the most beautiful furniture my mother had, it was only that beautiful to me when it was in that particular household. Because once we moved, she redecorated, and although she kept that couch, it just wasn't quite as pretty to me without the vases and the feathers that went with it. And I'm someone who also used to want to be a zoologist growing up as a child. So those feathers to me looked just like ostrich feathers. I'm quite sure they weren't, just because I know ostrich doesn't grow teal green feathers. But they were just so large and so pretty that I always told myself one day I was going to recreate that. I always told myself I was going to recreate that place setting one day. I no longer have the desire to, but this eye look will be my ode to that. Funny thing is, I don't even have a black in this eyeshadow palette, and I don't want to get up and grab one. So more than likely we're going to skip the black part just so we can stick to this palette. After all, that was just an inspiration. It's not a dedication or anything like that. I'm taking what memories I had in the past and just applying it to create new memories today. Opposite side. I'm going to go back in with that shade Sign Off and fill up my outer V before we go in with any shimmers. Press that on the outer half here. And for years I've gone back and forth between just putting on your outer V shade before you cut your crease and diffusing it later. And although I find that method to be a lot faster, I just find that putting down my glitter adhesive first and then putting my shadows right here for the outer V, they just come up a little more pigmented because they have that techie base there. And it's just something I prefer to do. Like I said, I know it takes longer, but for me, that little extra energy is worth the effort. For now, I think we're good. Notice I said for now we're good and kept going for a few more seconds. Next, for our lid, we're going to go in with the Block Party shadows. I know these got a bad rep when they first came out because they are truly, truly expensive. But what I like to do is wait until Dose of Color is having their half off sale and pick up a few shades. I have one for every 5-pan palette that I have. And today we're going to use the shade Tell Me More. What I have come to find is, although I hate using my fingers, there's just no better way to apply these. A silicone applicator is nice, but your finger is where it's at with these. I'm just gonna take and rub that right across. I like my color to be intense. because I have large fingers. Might not have the most accurate placing right now. And look at that, honey, yes. And to help finish off the eyes, now that we have our lid shade on, I'm going to go back in and just make sure we diffuse the edges of our outer V. I'm going to make sure that wasn't covered. Funny enough how I'm right-handed and covered up more on the right hand than I did the left. Then I'm going to take this very last shade, Smoke Show, and put that in our lower crease. Take a little more of that and diffuse it right here and at the very outer edge. And you see how this one has a slightly more smoky hue into the crease than this one does? Love getting that extra little definition there. And I buff this in on this side now. And because we did have fallout, once again, I'm not a fan of using my fingers, so I saw this coming. Gonna take a small portion of a makeup wipe. Whenever I'm cleaning up underneath my eyes, I just tend to cut these in like 8 pieces because I don't see a whole wipe being necessary. And you're just gonna go straight under, like that right away. And this is all we're gonna do for eyes right now. I'm gonna go ahead, finish my face, put on mascara, and I'll be back to show you all the final look. Girl, yes, look at her, honey. When I tell y'all, I've been testing out so many different products, going back and forth to see which ones I like, which ones I don't. And I just cannot wait to give y'all my new updated foundation routine. But we just gonna skip to what we're doing now. I do have a highlighter on, as you can see, but I wanted to use the same one for my brows and inner corner highlight. So I'm gonna come back on camera and do that for you. But first, just to give us a little more drama, I am just truly in love with this first shade, Sign Off. So we're gonna take that with a pencil brush on our lower lash line. Before we move any further, figured I could run to the post office after this. And we want a little more going on. This is just enough to create a smoky effect, but because it's not a black or dark brown, it'll give us a little drama. And honey, I like drama in my makeup, not in my life. Okay, that's just enough, yes, honey. I am tired of saying that's just enough and still doing a little bit more. For a highlighter, just because I wanted to use as much dose of color as I can, I promise you all I will use my Fuego highlighter here from the Desi Katie collection. Although Fuego is a permanent item, this packaging is limited edition. But this highlighter here, honey, this is my first time using it, and I'm gonna just be honest with you. MAC Oh Darling is my absolute favorite for a high beam shine from across the room. But this little bad boy here is just coming off as the most natural, healthiest glow ever. It can be built up to that high beam like you see that right there. But on the cheek, honey, that just looked like I have somebody walking around with a flashlight just pointing it straight at me. I ain't saying she better than Oh Darling, but what I am saying is, if you catch me cheating on my wife, Oh Darling, mind your business. Right. And to finish things off with Dose of Color, I want to go in with the liquid lipstick in the shade Supernatural. I am someone who truly loves pale nudes, and because that color is way too light to use without a liner, I'm gonna go in with my Lip Bar Straight Living Liner. This combo right here, honey, I have just been enjoying lately. And because this look was supposed to be inspired by a thought that I had of my mother doing the cool tone teal look, I also wanted to do a lip look that to me is timeless. Nudes, any generation, any event, you can rock a nude. But I wanted to take and do a little new school, old school with it because I'm someone who, my generation loves liquid lipsticks. My mothers didn't know or care anything about that. But what they did love was lip liner. And for some reason, anytime I look at old school pictures of women from the decades before me, I absolutely get tickled when I see how much they enjoy dark lip liner. But every generation has their techniques and their styles, and although this is a little dark for me, we're gonna make it work. The second step after liner is filling in our lips, and with liquid lipsticks, my main concern is getting this center area here. And then blending it out. Ooh, and as you can see, that combo looks terrible right now, but we're gonna make her work. Okay, we're just gonna give this a little more time to dry down. And although most people tend to only go in with one layer with their liquid lipsticks, I like to do two. One to get the placement and the second to get the opacity. And I just keep rubbing my lips back and forth like this to help me know when that color is almost set. And then we're gonna go back in and cover any areas that have skipped, like right here. And make sure our center area is truly filled in. Okay, and for this one, we're gonna just let him slightly dry. And as he is, we're gonna go around the edges and just sharpen those up a little more. We don't want that line to be as dark as it was when we first placed it. We just want to help melt these two colors together. And just because I'm not the hugest fan of truly matte liquid lipsticks, I like to go over them with a tiny bit of gloss. And today, just to throw it back, matte clear lip gloss. Something I think most of us remember our moms having. It was a universal shade, went with anything. And although nowadays we tend to go with thinner formulas, I tend to like this old school thicker one because it helps just add a hydration look to the lips without it being so thin that it actually smudges and melts into my lip. So what I'm gonna do is just press this right here on the bottom, blot that to the top. And as you can see with that there, it does have a slight stick to it, but because of that, I'm gonna leave that there for a moment. It's gonna go in and start to hydrate that matte liquid lipstick and turn this more into a cream lipstick instead of a matte dry one. I'm just gonna give that time to sit there. I want most of that shine to be near the center, but I am gonna push very little out to the edges. I just don't want it in the corner of the mouth. All right, I'm gonna give this time to set. Coconut Fix Plus, because although we have a glow going, we can always go for a little more. Ooh, honey, I am feeling this, I am feeling this. But you know, ain't no point of it looking good if ain't nobody gonna ever see it. So we got to put on our all-nighter so it lasts all day. We're gonna drown in this today, honey. You only need a few sprays, but mind your business. I can put on as much as I like. Cheap fan, expensive breeze. And when your makeup look like this, you're bound to have good times. Gonna give this a few more seconds to dry and I'll be back to show you all the final look. And this is the final look. As you all can see, the glow is on another level. And honey, I am feeling this. I am really feeling this look, but I have to admit two things. One, the cons. This doesn't look anything like my mother's couch growing up. I know I went in with the inspiration I truly was thinking of that quote that Kylie said, and then it instantly took me back to my childhood and images and things of my mother. So although this look was inspired by her, so I'm loving the fact that it is bright, it is glowy, it is beautiful. Once again, it does not remind me of the couch that I was thinking of. That couch was teal, but it had much more of a green undertone. This here is coming up on camera almost like a blue slash purple coming off because of the cool tones I use with it. And I'm not mad about it though. Like, it is absolutely stunning. It just wasn't what I was looking for. But the fact that my spirits have been lifted, I feel a lot better now. Who cares? The thing is, I own all of the Dose of Color 5-pan palettes and they are absolutely stunning. I personally wish they could do something like the Viseart Grande Pro or the Lorac Mega Pros, where they would give us this formula, this pan size, but I want something like a 15 or a 20 pan palette with this formula, different colors. I absolutely love them. As well as the Block Party eyeshadows. Once again, many people don't like them simply because of the price. So what I recommend doing is waiting until you see a sale. I have, I think, 5 or 6 of these. For every all matte 5-pan palette that I have a matching color to go with them. So I absolutely love them. I think so far my favorite one is Sizzle. That's the one I use most often. But this Teal Me More has me loving this blue because it's coming off more as a dual chrome than as a single shadow. And the liquid lipstick, I've been staring at this color online for so long and I am loving her right here, especially with this liner gloss combo. I thought this was going to be the star of the show just because I love lips. Lips are my favorite part of the body. But this highlighter here, honey. This highlighter here is so pretty. It is just absolutely stunning. Like I just keep going back and forth, and I am someone who loves a high shine. I love a high shine. And for this to me to be looking like this is just my natural glow, like this is coming from the foundation itself, not something I placed there. Just literally in the past 10 minutes that I've been wearing it, I've been going back and forth like Torrence. You love Oh Darling. You love Oh Darling. So much so that I buy a new one every year and I've never run out of one. I've never run out of a highlighter and I still buy this every year because it's so beautiful. And although I can honestly say I'm never going to get rid of it, if this lasts all day looking like this, we might have a new favorite. We might have a new favorite. I'm not going to make no promises. I ain't going to say nothing, but we're going to test this one out a few more times just to make sure. I can't wait to show my mother this look to let her know that this look was inspired by her. Maybe she'll even let me do this look on her one day. Although my mother likes makeup, she's not the type to wear it. If I don't come over, put it on her, it's not going to happen. I hope you all enjoyed this look. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure if you're not subscribed to the channel that you hit that subscribe button before you leave. Also, leave me a comment down below letting me know if there's any other brands or color stories that you would like me to test out on this channel because I want to make sure I give you all the content that you like. And if that's all for now, remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye YouTube.